At the beginning of the movie, we see a girl named Gosia, who lives in a small village far away from the city with her mother. Gosia is very beautiful and has just reached the age of youth. However, she has no friends, and so she doesn't know anything about relationships. The next morning, Gosia wakes up and goes to the stable. She starts milking the cows and later takes them to graze in the forest. After leaving the cows to graze in the forest, Gosia sits under a tree to pass time by reading a book. Then she removes all her clothes and bathes in a nearby stream. But suddenly, she feels as if someone is watching her secretly. However, when she looks around, she doesn't see anyone and thinks it must have been her imagination. After this, Gosia lies down there to rest, but she sees the shadow of someone above her. Gosia senses the presence of this shadow and becomes unable to sleep at night, thinking about it. Her mother notices and asks her why she is staying awake so late. However, Gosia doesn't give a proper answer to her mother, as she is worried about the changes happening in her body and is shy about sharing them with her mother. The next day, Gosia takes her cows to the forest again and sits under a tree to rest. There, she sees a man who is sitting and making a painting. Gosia approaches him, and he shows her the painting he made, which is a nude portrait of her. Seeing her nude picture, Gosia faints on the spot. The man revives her by giving her water and asks if she lives nearby. Gosia replies that she does and asks the man where he lives. The man tells her that he doesn't have a permanent home and that he travels to different places, making paintings wherever he feels like it. Then, he starts coming closer to Gosia and touches her body. Gosia finds his touch pleasant, but she becomes shy and leaves the place. The next day, Gosia goes back to the same place to look for the man, but she doesn't see him anywhere. Then, suddenly, the man calls out to her, and Gosia approaches him. The man was sitting there making another painting. He shows Gosia all the paintings he has made, and Gosia likes them very much. Then Gosia asks the man why he is only making her nude pictures. The man responds, "Because you are very beautiful, and look at your hands, they are so beautiful too." He then asks Gosia, "Do you know what your youthful body desires?" Gosia replies that she doesn't know anything about it. Hearing this, the man shows her another nude picture of herself and says, "Your body seeks intimacy, which I can give you." Saying this, he asks Gosia to take off all her clothes. Gosia does so, and the man starts touching her body and making her feel certain sensations. Gosia is unable to control herself, and they become physically intimate right there. After meeting the man, Gosia becomes very happy and is unable to sleep at night due to her excitement. She wakes up early in the morning, which surprises her mother. Her mother begins to suspect why Gosia is changing so much. After this, we see that Gosia goes to the forest every day and enjoys spending time with the man. Along with loving her, the man also starts teaching her about the ways of the world, like how to eat properly at the table and how to talk to people. He even brings new clothes for her, which Gosia likes very much. One day, it rains, and the two of them sit under a tree and start talking. The man gives Gosia a book and tells her, "I have taught you everything. If you want to know more about physical pleasures, you can read this book. It has all the details about it." While they are talking, some children see them. Seeing the children, Gosia becomes nervous, but the man tells her not to pay attention to them. Later, Gosia goes home and starts reading the book, but her mother arrives and takes the book away from her. Her mother asks where she got the book, and Gosia tells her that a man in the forest gave it to her. Hearing this, her mother becomes very angry and says, "I don't send you to the forest for such things. If you become pregnant, I won't spare you." Hearing this, Gosia becomes very angry but doesn't argue with her mother. Her mother then says, "This Sunday, we will go to church, and you will confess everything to the Father." On Sunday, they go to church, and Gosia confesses everything to the Father. She says, "I know I shouldn't have done all that, but I couldn't stop myself. I have been intimate with him many times, so please forgive all my sins." After hearing this, the father tells her mother, Gosia is still a child. She has just stepped into adulthood, and kids often make mistakes at this age. But you should take Gosia to a doctor and find out if she is pregnant. Hearing this, her mother takes Gosia to the doctor. After examining her, the doctor tells her mother something that shocks her. The doctor says that Gosia is still a virgin and hasn't been physically intimate with anyone, meaning no one has even touched her yet. So what exactly has Gosia been experiencing? That night, while Gosia is asleep in her room, the man comes to her and kisses her to wake her up. Seeing him, Gosia tells him, "I want you to stay with me forever." Hearing this, the man says, "I am here with you, and I will never leave you," and then he disappears. It turns out that this man was not real. Everything was just Gosia's imagination. Everything we had seen so far was just an illusion created by Gosia's mind. Because Gosia had just entered adulthood, she was beginning to feel the need for physical intimacy, and due to loneliness, she started imagining such things. With this, the movie ends.